Hello, guys, and welcome to Mind Talk. Today, I wanted to speak about a quote that caught my eye a while back. The quote was, "Do not look for sanctuary in anyone else except yourself," by Buddha Siddhartha Gautama. Coming across this quote made me reflect on the state of my own inner sanctuary and my struggles with it along the way. I had to turn my eye inward. I had to fully understand that I could not rely so much on the external for peace because I know that is not absolute. Being hooked on external praise and external validation will lead you on a wild chase, like a fiend trying to get his next high. You will lose all sense of self, as you will only see yourself as best as the people on the outside can perceive you. And not everyone has the right eyes, the right glasses, the right prescription to see you clearly. Inevitably, how you feel about yourself and how you see yourself will always be in the hands of others as you become lost in the sea of approval of every person that you meet, creating this power dynamic over yourself in which you will always be at the bottom, suffering. We eventually entrap ourselves in this endless cycle where while we are consciously perpetuating the same actions that we think will lead us to the validation that we are seeking to help us feel a sense of safety within ourselves, at the same time, we subconsciously know, deep down inside, those same actions contribute to the same power dynamic that is hurting us, and we eventually go mad. After visualizing what an ideal inner sanctuary would be for me, I had to question the current state of my own inner sanctuary. Was it a place where I'm able to truly be free and to be at peace? Have I even given myself the proper space within where I can be my own place of refuge in a time of need? A safe place where I can go without any outside influences or the fear of my sanctuary being pillaged by any external factors? Have I even allowed myself to give myself things like grace, patience, and the time to build such a place within that I could safely call home? Better yet, have I even come to the consensus that building an inner sanctuary is not a one and done ordeal? That building such a sanctuary within self takes time and patience and does not come with immediate success. As time goes on, things change. Relationships come and relationships go. Environments tend to shift while your mind, emotions, and spirit are supposed to grow. Your inner world should not look the same as it did years ago. That is how one ends up being stuck in toxic cycles, battling with internal conflicts, while simultaneously being soothed and tormented by outdated principles and beliefs that one still holds on to until they learn the lessons that allow them to break free, to flourish, and then to build anew. This seemingly simple yet profound quote had me go into the depths of myself for introspection to gather insight of what I called me. And oh man, it was not pretty. It was like walking through a time capsule or walking through an office where the technology is straight out of the late 80s or the 90s. Everything was outdated, and a simple update was out of the question with the state of everything. There were outdated programs and old systems I was still carrying out through my actions, which led to a lot of strife and a lot of hard times. Old ways of thinking that kept my mind in loops, false projections and illusions that were casted upon me long ago that still kept me mentally and emotionally bound and imprisoned. Everything I was still holding on to, that I was still operating out of from my inner world, was either very harsh, negative, or an illusion that always reflected back to me a distorted representation of who I really was. The environment of my inner world was so harsh and so negative, but yet this was supposed to be my place of refuge, my inner sanctuary. But over time, it had turned into a landfill, and I was living in that. Better yet, I was living that out, as your inner world does contribute to your outer world. As you could probably tell, there was little to no peace within. Where is peace supposed to go if there's no space made for it? And peace will not stay in an environment that does not have a proper foundation for it to thrive in. Since my inner sanctuary was in turmoil, my eye turned outward for a sense of relief, for help, for reassurance, for someone to reflect back to me something different than the false beliefs I had held onto as truth for many years about myself. My inner sanctuary was now what the world thought of me. It was in the hands of whoever I encountered. And well, I already described how that goes. And I sat back and thought, I don't want this for myself. I don't want that harshness taking up space in my inner world. I mean, who does? As this quote continued to send my mind into what felt like an endless spiral of self-reflection, I'm like, wow. I knew then that after analyzing my inner world, that I had to go within and destroy while creating anew, bringing awareness and accuracy to the illusions I was still holding on to as truth. I had to process and go through the stages of grief as old programs were being dismantled from within, while sometimes fighting and struggling with myself not to turn back to old ways, constantly analyzing my actions, being mindful of my thoughts, while trying to get to the root of it all so it can be plucked out at the soil. All the while still trying to have a sense of compassion, understanding, and forgiveness for myself through it all. I needed a new foundation within myself in order for a new to be birthed. I saw the destruction of my inner sanctuary and the damage it caused for both my internal and external worlds. I felt like life was playing with me in a certain way until I learned how to stand on my own 2 feet. It allowed me to stay in a state of crawling until I got frustrated enough to want to walk, to want to run, because I was capable whether I wanted to believe it or not. I got frustrated with always turning myself to others to find a place of refuge in, and being dependent for the approval of others in the outside world. I got tired of the emotional highs and the lows of being approved of one minute and dismissed the next. I got tired of the self-sabotage from the false beliefs. I got tired of not having a place to go to when everyone else seemed to stand so tall when stuff got rocky. I got tired of coming home to myself at the end of the day to see the mess that has been accumulated over the years. Once I got fed up, once I got tired, life didn't necessarily stop doing what it does best, but instead it kept pushing me and guiding me to continue to make the right changes that will lead me to the destination I was heading towards within myself. With each challenge that life has presented me with, it wasn't really a dagger, but yet a necessary tool that was needed to continue to help me build. A quote this deep has ripple effects like a pebble being thrown into a lake. And the ripples will continue to keep going for me until the water in the lake becomes still again. But once the waters become still, I think that is when my journey will come to a close. So until then, I will keep learning, keep building, and destroying, making touches here and there, and being satisfied each and every step of the way instead of waiting to be happy with the final product. This is not an easy thing, and it is very easy to slip back into the state of mind of turning the eye outward. But once you get a glimpse, or once you finally start celebrating your small wins and honoring what you call losses, you will continue to build a strong reflex of coming back to you, coming back to your own sanctuary, coming back home within self instead of allowing or wanting others to be your place of refuge. Learn to fill up your own cup so you can be able to drink from your own waters and be proud of it. Learn what it takes to be your own safe space. Allow space within yourself to be your own place of refuge. People in the outside world can only do so much. It is up to you. We truly are our own homes, our own mini worlds, our own islands, our own places of refuge during our time here on Earth. But that is enough for today. I wanted to add that not seeking refuge in others does not mean not being allowed to seek aid or assistance from others when needed. It's about not becoming dependent on others as a safe space and learning how to be that for yourself. I hope everyone is doing okay out there and is staying safe. Please make sure to protect your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul as you go about your day, as for those are sacred grounds, okay? Don't let just anybody roam about those sacred grounds like it's nothing. You are sacred, you are loved, and you are cared for. Do not doom scroll to the next video, okay? Huh? Put down the phone, put down the tablet.
What?
Take time to allow your mind to process and mentally digest. Take a few seconds to put down the screens and look out the window, or put down the phone and step outside to allow your lungs to get some fresh air.
Come on, let's go outside. Go outside for what?
Just give your mind a break. Give your brain a second to breathe, okay? And please remember who you were before you started getting on this phone and allowing it to tell you who you need to be or who you ought to be.
Period.
Okay? Remember, you were precious before this thing, and you will still be precious after the fact, alright? Alright, guys. I love you. Stay safe and take care. Until next time.
My time has come.